First, we must travel back in time, back to 1852, and a small island off the coast of India. An island that had just been ravaged by a plague that destroyed all of the coffee plantations. And a man named the name of James Taylor was sent there to convert these failed coffee plantations, these decimated coffee plantations, to tea. He was sent there to perfect the tea growing process and turn India and Ceylon into a tea-producing nation, so that the English would no longer be dependent upon the Chinese. The English Empire had spent untold riches and lives to lure settlers from England to this wild jungle island to establish coffee plantations, and now those plantations had been destroyed. The colonization of Ceylon and India in question. When settlers discovered tea plants growing 15 feet high, wild in the jungles of Ceylon, the English Empire realized they could salvage their colonies by converting these plantations, the failed coffee plantations, to tea-growing plantations. This would be a monumental task for James Taylor. In 1852, Ceylon was still a wild jungle nation, inhabited by exotic beasts, elephants, tigers. And getting the cooperation of the people, the natives, would not be easy. They were suspicious. They heard stories, tales of slavery in faraway lands, and were skeptical and fearful. But along with the cultivation of this new exotic plant came new technology, a raised standard of living, jobs in the tea processing plants, health care for their children, and a new way of life. Therefore, they submitted and they learned about English culture, both the good and the bad. A bizarre cultural blend of the beastly and the refined, as manicured gardens worthy of the English countryside emerged from the beastly jungle, and the people flourished. Once the land and people had been tamed, a man by the name of Thomas Lipton traveled to this island nation under the cover of darkness, sailing on a clipper ship, because he heard there was an opportunity of untold proportions. He owned 300 grocery stores in Scotland and was looking for a new exotic product to serve in these stores. While the land was settled, traveling there on a clipper ship was no less perilous. Many of these ships ended up at the bottom of the ocean or in the hands of ruthless pirates. By the 1890s, the people of America demanded new and exotic experiences. Experiences they'd only read about in novels of days gone by. And the World's Fair was coming. 1893, the World's Fair was going to showcase amazing technology. People stood and marveled in wonder and amazement as they sipped new and exotic beverages, as they saw industrial manufacturing never before seen. Everything seemed possible in this new gilded age of technology. The industrial age had dawned. America was leading the world, and we demanded a new exotic beverage. A beverage from a land far, far away. Something different than had been previously offered. And the tea boom of the 1890s provided that. The tea boom was on, fueled by incredible new products, loose leaf tea, and they were willing to pay a premium. This new exotic elixir was adorned with regal crests worthy of a new American empire. By 1893, the tea boom was in full swing. Forgotten was the Boston Tea Party. The next 100 years would be owned by tea. It was not to be. In 1904, an accident brought the screeching halt. Enter our villain, the perpetrator of our crime, the man who destroyed the quality of tea for the next 100 years. Thomas Sullivan, the bumbling idiot that invented the tea bag by sheer accident. It might be funny if a generation of Americans hadn't lived and died without ever tasting a quality cup of tea because of this imbecilic invention. By accident, Thomas Sullivan was a cheapskate who sent out his tea in thin paper The intention of this was not for people to put the tea into the hot water inside of the bag. It was to open the bag and put it into the water as loose leaf tea. However, because people could see through the thin paper of the bag, they simply put it in the hot water. Over the past 103 years, many attempts to improve the tea bag have come and gone, some of them quite comical. Many efforts have been made to control the variables associated with tea brewing and tea consumption, including ready to drink. However, one problem remains. High-quality tea is all different shapes and sizes, and it does not run through packaging equipment efficiently. Therefore, the majesty, the amazing nature of the loose leaf tea leaf itself has been locked away for 103 years. Now it's time. It's time to bring the majesty, the story, the tea boom of the 1890s back to life. The exotic land called Ceylon still exists, waiting to be rediscovered in the tea boom of the 21st century. The ancestors of a time gone by still stand in the morning mist, waiting for justice. I can almost see the clipper ship emerging from the mist over the curve of the earth with a new cargo, a new exotic elixir for the 21st century. But how? How do we achieve this goal? How do we resurrect the majesty of this exotic elixir? Its visual aesthetic and diversity unquestioned. Its healing properties proven by science. Its amazing, soul-soothing abilities steeped in history. What heroic innovation will liberate tea from its current prison of mediocrity? What can it be? Now, in this modern age, we can use 21st century technology to resurrect the tea boom of the 1890s. From dusk to dawn, from the world to your cup, we can now do it. It's in your hands. The time has come for technology to serve history, to right a wrong, correct a mistake, deliver us from the tea bag, free the soul of tea, and soothe your own. Deliver a verdict, justice 103 years in the making, justice for the tea leaf. Let's ensure that another generation doesn't live and die without experiencing loose leaf tea. Join us and free the tea. Be the tea. Be the tea. Now you know, and now you can't go back. Now you've learned, and now it's time to act. Now you know. Now you know. So what innovative tool will we use? What technology can take us to where we need to go? Achieve the goal. The affinity infusion process harnesses the power of pressure and agitation to brew loose leaf tea. It turns the average single serve technology into a powerful loose leaf tea brewing machine with a simple attachment. Simply place the affinity infusion brewing chamber into any Keurig-based single-serve brewing system and watch as the magic happens. The jets inside of the brewing chamber unfurl and unfold the loose leaf tea. Once the loose leaf tea leaves are unfolded, then residence time, the chamber fills and pressurizes, brewing high-quality loose leaf tea in 30 to 50 seconds rather than 3 to 5 minutes. An amazing feat which will turn the world's 5,000 tea gardens into the playground, the flavor playground of a new generation of tea drinkers. Tea, unlike coffee, is all different shapes and all different sizes. Therefore, the brewing environment must be customized. Different jet patterns, different residence time must be employed to get the most out of different tea leaf sizes. There's where the magic lies in affinity. Variation, pressure and agitation all coming together to free the tea. Free the tea. For your health, for your soul, for your sanity. Be the tea. Be the tea.